when you got something to read, I hate reading stuff. When I have to speak in public, I never make notes, and everyone screams at me for it, but it makes me more nervous having to read something. I'd rather just chat. Whereas other people have to have what they're written down, which is fair enough.
That's exactly what this show's all about, just chatting.
Just chat.
Make sure people know what they're chatting about. Hello and welcome to Drumbeg Studio Podcast. I am Michael Lumbie, and as indicated by the introductory music, we're going to have a chilled out session today, a chilled out show. So time to relax and enjoy yourself. We're going to be chatting to singer Molly Hall, who we recorded here in the Drumbeg Studios, which is amazing to get that interview done here. We will also have music from Sam Appleby and Jen Ella. But this, to get you dancing, is Robbie Hutton with Sweet Side.
I'll tell you something I think you probably already know. Circling round this problem for far too long. So tell me how you're feeling, tell me what's going on in your mind. Because the shiver down my back is getting close to crushing my spine. I try to keep moving on your sweet side, baby. Try to keep you moving along. Or you can tell me how you're feeling, but it just won't matter. Cause the lights are on but nobody's home tonight. So let me keep drifting by your sweet side, honey. Promise I won't let you down. But when it comes around, I'll lie, I probably will let you down. That's the way it's gonna be if you wanna be free. Lift up your eyes to the sky. See, I'm on my way. Oh, I'm on my way. Said that's the way it's gonna be if you wanna be free. Lift up your eyes to the sky. See, I'm on my way. Oh, I'm on my way. Oh, said that's the way it's gonna be if you wanna be free. Lift up your eyes to the sky. Say I'm on my way. Said I wouldn't let you down, but when it came around, I lied because I did let you down.
That's Robbie Hutton with Sweet Side here on Drumbeg Studio Podcast. Robbie is a singer-songwriter from Stirling, and he has carved his unique sound from a mixture of soulful pop music and ballad rock-driven music as well. With a diverse catalogue and impressive vocal range, his music has the chance to reach out to a variety of audiences, and every new song he will write will bring something new to the table as well. Many thanks, Robbie, for letting me play that song on my show. I must mention you can find the full song up on Spotify along with his latest single, Too Late as well, which was released this year. Now, it is time to find out this week's special guest.
Oh, I can take it. It's only been a couple days, emotionally naked. And open up to me. Tell me what we could be as I'm talking to you late at night. I'm talking to you late at night until I fall asleep.
This week's special guest is singer Molly Hall.
Hello. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good.
Good.
It's a bit cold in here, but
It is pretty chilly, but
hopefully that
we're
fire will get
surviving.
going. We are surviving.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. So growing up in a busy city like Edinburgh must have been amazing, right?
I feel like music industry in Edinburgh is like on the scale up. I feel like it kind of died down for a while, but it's on the comeback, which is good.
It
for
is,
people
yeah.
Like me. Yeah.
Did you have any sort of? Would you be inspired by what was going on, and perhaps that might have sparked a childhood dream or something?
Yeah. Well, people like there's actually Nina Nesbitt went to my school, and then people were chatting about her for ages. And then when I started to write music and stuff, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be the next Nina Nesbitt." I was like, "Okay," but because she did so well for herself, I was like, it's actually possible. When it's like someone close, like who went to the same school as you actually realise it's not that far away from possible. So
That's
pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went out with Ed Sheeran, so I was like, maybe it's possible. I need to like go out with someone famous, and then it'll be fine. It's my ticket.
So, in terms of age, then, how early did you start to think of becoming a singer and thinking this could be what I want to do in life? You know.
It's probably. I don't think I could. Well, for ages I thought I can't do this as a career because so many people fail at.
So initially
doing
it was
music.
just doing it for the love of.
Yeah, initially
singing,
it was
yeah.
just I can sing and people think I'm good at it, so that's fine. But writing my own stuff and putting that out there and then getting different gigs was quite like an eye opener because I was like, maybe I can do this. But I don't know. It's a fine line between just keeping it as a hobby and pursuing it as a career because a lot of people fail, but it's good fun at the minute.
But
And
I
I'm
mean,
just,
even the
seeing where
best
it
the
goes.
best of us in this industry will always say, "I'm just doing it for the fun of it and the enjoyment
which
of."
is good because I enjoy it, so that's the main thing. Which is
That's the main thing. Why
It
would you be
is.
doing something if you didn't
Exactly.
enjoy it?
I don't want to have a job that I hate. Been there, done that. Don't want to do it again.
So you mentioned a bit of musical writing that you've done.
Yeah.
When it comes to writing your own music, where do the influences come from?
The male gender. Just
Okay.
guys. Guys are like the easiest thing to write about. And I asked a guy songwriter like 3 days ago because I met him at this EP launch for my friend's EP that was coming out, and he was like, yeah, like I agree, the easiest thing to write about is about relationships or girls in his sense or for anyone else. And then I was talking about how my sister gets really annoyed at me because she hates when I write songs about guys. She's like, just write about something else. Like, just write about something else. I'm like, it's honestly all my brain thinks of. Like, as soon as I like start playing something, I'm like, anyway. But it's because it's, I don't know, it's like typical thing to write about, which kind of sucks because you don't want to follow the trend of everyone else. But it's what my brain instantly goes to when I'm just like trying to write a song.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of genres,
Yeah.
What influences do you have from them?
Genre. I love ballads. Like Adele is one of my favourite singers because her low register is just really nice, and because I've got a deep voice, she can sing quite high as well, and I don't know, like if mixed voices, you're between your falsetto and your, I call it stomach voice, but it's not called that. But you're like your really belt voice. So her mix between that is just really nice. So I've always looked up to her. So when I write ballads, it's usually going to be lower, like in a lower key because of Adele. And then my keys player Gav, he likes jazz chords.
Right, okay.
And I don't think he even listens to jazz, but that's kind of a jazz influence. In my song Losing You Again, it's got like a couple of jazzy chords in it. I like that. And then, I don't know, I think it's more like pop influence because there's a lot, like for Next to You, it's just like a strong kick throughout the whole thing, which is mostly what you find in pop these days anyway. So.
And has that come from what you grew up with, what your childhood music dreams
Not
were?
really, actually.
No?
I grew up with my dad loves like Stevie Wonder and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Tears for Fears and stuff like that, and I love those bands. Like I've got this massive playlist on my Spotify. It's just every genre that I like, from 80s to like music now. I just chucked every song I like in that playlist. I can shuffle it for like hours on end. So there isn't like a specific genre I do listen to, but I just like all kind of stuff.
That's I mean, I think the best talented musicians out there will always be influenced by not just the one genre,
lots of them,
which is fantastic, because your music just might sound a bit boring if it was just all by the one.
Like I love the start of Next to You, this like the synth stuff, because synth was from, I went through a period of listening to 80s music. My best friend Anna was like obsessed with 80s music because of her parents.
I've got one of them as well.
So I used to listen to all the time on Sunday mornings with her. So when Gav sent me the synth for the start of Next Year, I was like, we have to use that, because I just love synth. I don't know what it is.
We're going to be catching up with Molly in just a bit, but it's time to go back for some music. This is Sam Appleby with his latest single, Fall Out of Love.
It hasn't been long, although it's probably taken a while for me to sing this song. I'm either saying I'm sorry to you, or this song's a happy tale of what you and I've been through. We are closer than any friend, and I hope this never ends. And I swear I thought it then, but now I'm scared. 'Cause I still want you by my side, wanna talk through the night. But I promised I would say, if the hour ever came that I fell out of love. Oh, the last thing I wanna do, darling, please believe me, is hurting you. I just wanna do what's right. I'll always be there by your side if you need me. Oh, the last thing I wanna do, darling, please believe me, is hurting you. I just wanna do what's right. I'll always be there by your side. It hasn't been long, although it's probably taken a while for me to sing this song. Oh, I'm not saying I'm sorry to you, 'cause this song's a happy tale of what you and I've been through. We are closer than any friend, and I hope this never ends. But I swear I thought it then, but I'm not scared. 'Cause I still want you by my side, wanna talk through the night. But I promised I would say, but the hour never came that I fell out of love.
That's Sam Appleby with Fell Out of Love here on Drumbeg Studio Podcast. Sam is an emerging singer-songwriter from the Highlands of Scotland, currently studying music at Edinburgh. That song, Fell Out of Love, was released this year on the 12th of November, and you can find the full song along with his first single up on the digital media platforms of today, including Spotify. Many thanks, Sam, for letting me play that song on my show, and all the best with your future. Now we turn back to our special guest, singer Molly Hall. You mentioned earlier on talking about getting other musicians involved, and you were talking about use of harmonies to your tracks.
Yeah.
Being a solo artist, you find that you will hear how the song sounds just as a solo artist, and then you maybe feel that certain songs don't need harmonies.
Yeah. I feel like the last ballad I wrote was Losing You Again, which is one of probably like joint top song I've ever written. I love that song so much, and I didn't actually write the melody to it. Gav actually just wrote the key part, and then I just matched it. But that happens for like half of my songs. But it's one of the songs where I don't think should have any harmony, because it's just, some songs don't need it. But that's like Fall Asleep was the same. So every time I heard it, I just like harmonized along to it. So the bridge is the only part I put harmonies in. But it's great to perform that live.
Yeah.
Because when I do it without anyone, like it's just track and me, when Gav can't play or whatever, I still have like harmonies put in on the bridge, because it just beeps out a little bit, and it's more, it's like a different element.
When you're collaborating with other musicians, you know, they might have different ideas of how the song might sound, but also different harmonies of what might fit better on, and obviously everyone sounds different when they sing, so some people will suit use of harmonies better than others.
That's true. I kind of feel like I like the mix between like a male and female voices. I feel like if I ever had a song that was a duet, I would probably do it with a guy, because I love hearing duets that are like that, because it's such an amazing thing how a male and female voice can be so different. It's like just tone and stuff. So I've got a lot of guy friends who write music, and they're great at it, so it's something to do in the future. But I love like a mix of voice, because I feel like girl duets are kind of overdone right now in the pop music, so I'm like, just mix it up. The weirdest thing for me is hearing guys sing my songs. So weird. Because I heard, like, you hear it with girls, and then, like, your friend, like, girlfriends are like, oh, that's, like, the best song in the world, like, and they start singing it. And I'm like, for one, that's weird. But then when one of your guy friends starts singing it, you're like, I get, oh.
Is that a good weird feeling or a bad weird feeling?
I don't know. It's not bad or good. It's just kind of weird. Because, like, I remember, like, the first couple months of Fall Asleep coming out, I just got sent tons of videos of my friends just screaming at their phones. And I was like, this is so funny. But you never actually realize, like, Party at the Palace, there was, like, this random, I never met this guy before. He was standing at the barrier and he knew all the words. And I was like, this is so weird.
Yes.
Like, it's mad. I don't, like, you don't actually think people know your songs. Because you write them by yourself. I wrote Fall Asleep at my school, actually. I wrote it in a practice room on a broken piano. I was like,
that's a good story.
I was like, oh, I'll just write it out, because I had a free period. I only did 4 hires instead of 5, because it was like, pick a subject I don't like and I haven't done for an At 5, or do 4. So I did 4, got free periods, and then wrote it in a free period. I think it was like a 45-minute period, and I just wrote the whole thing, and then...
By a broken piano, do you mean it was out of tune?
Very out of tune.
Right.
Very out of tune. And it was weird, because in that whole moment, like, before I sent it to Gav or anything, like, I didn't even know Gav when I wrote it properly, and then no one knows it, and then, like, in 1 second of releasing it, all your friends know the words. That's weird. I just didn't like it. I was kind of like, oh.
I get that with my parents, but I mean, you know, family members, you know, my brother as well, people who know you, but when it's people who don't know, who you either don't know you, or you don't know them, or distant friends, and they said, oh, I was singing one of your songs the other day, and I'm thinking,
it's so weird.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's a compliment, but it's
a compliment, but how are you supposed to respond to that?
You're like, thanks for listening to it.
Steps to rush to reach a new planet. Everything bigger, but I couldn't figure. Was I feeling scared or excited? Blinded by people catching my breath. I felt the fresh air and discovered something new. Adventure in front and a wish come true. saw a glimpse. Wonderful buildings full of things, friendly faces in many places, acceptance for anyone. We had butterflies, butterflies, oh. Walked to the gates, eyes on ice. Who would have known I reached my home? Memories in a place that we had known.
That's Jen Ella with Butterflies here on Drumbeg Studio Podcast. I hope she doesn't love butterflies. I certainly don't. Anyway, Jen is a singer-songwriter from Cork, currently living in Edinburgh. She is greatly influenced by folk, blues, rock, bluesgrass and traditional Irish music. I must say that you can find the full song of that, Butterflies, up on all the digital media platforms of today. That was released last year. You can also find up there her latest single, Flawless, which was released this year. Many thanks, Jen, for letting me play that song. I think you're going to go really far in this industry. I'm loving that song, Butterflies. I hope it's going down well with your fans as well. Now we head back to our special guest, singer Molly Hall, for the final time today. Let's talk about your performance at the party at the Palace, shall we? That must have been, inverted commas, some incredible experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fab. We had this, I think it was built, or it was, our dressing room was one of these like makeshift building sort of things. So you,
Right.
like, it was like a built up,
Pop-up.
yeah,
building,
pop-up thing.
Yeah.
But it was so weird because it was the charlatans' dressing room that
Right.
we got to use, but then they like changed the thing over. It was so funny because we still had the artist passes, so when we got out of the dressing room, because there was obviously a time that once we'd finished we'd get all our stuff and get our kit out, but we were walking back to get food and the charlatans just like opened the door to the dressing room we were in, and I was like, that's so weird. I sat on the same couch. And then like they had we stole one of the towels that, because there was like a special like little, there was like a table with like drinks and stuff inside the dressing room, and then there was like towels and everything, and we stole the towels. That was great. And then the artist passes, they actually worked for the day after, so when we went to see Tommy Maguire and the Brass Holes, was our favourite brass band. It's so good. Yeah, so we got to use them and get to the front, so that was brilliant. And the passes were brilliant because we could go, there's free food and drink in like the big tent, and then you could go through like the barrier to the main stage. So
wow, so you were...
afterwards, like Katie Tunstall and stuff were just there, and I was like, hi. It was very weird. I felt like, you feel like a normal public member, you don't, because it was weird singing there, and then still be able to stand there and be like, hi Katie.
Yes. Well, I mean, just even going back to when you initially got the confirmation that it was going to happen, you must have been...
That was so
must have been hard
weird.
to keep you down on the ground, yeah?
I actually came about because Finn was going with his dad, I think, initially. Yeah, he was going with his dad because he'd gone before, and he said, do you want to come? And I was like, I don't have any money. I don't really want to go, because tickets were like 40 odd quid or something for the day. So I was like, no, I don't have any money. And then he jokingly said, if you play, you wouldn't have to pay to go. And then I was like, fair enough. So I messaged them on Facebook, and I was like, I sent them one of my MP3s, and I was like, have a listen, can I play, as a joke. Like, it was honestly, it's the most sarcastic message I've ever sent. I was like, yeah, let me play. And then he messaged back, and he was like, here's my email, send it over to this email. And I sent it, and then he called me, and he was like, we want you to play on the main stage on like Saturday. So I was standing backstage with my wee in-ears in my mic. I was like, this is weird. And my granny was even more nervous than I was. She had her jacket hood over the front of her head. She was like, I'm so nervous. And I was like, don't be nervous, I'm not nervous.
But it's funny because I, doing a bit of research on it, I thought I read a report that said that how incredible your voice was, firstly, but that you were possibly a wee bit nervous and anxious about going up to it. I mean, being up on stage, yeah?
my voice always my voice always has voice cracks. Like, it's my known
Right.
thing. It's so funny. I now just embrace it because I'm like, my voice just cracks all the time. But I hadn't, like, because I was so excited and so like built up in the moment, I didn't warm up properly for it. Like, I'd
Right.
warmed up, but not enough. I should have warmed up more because, you know, you want to be like completely ready for these things. But I was just too excited. I was too busy getting my graphic to the like screen guy. I should have just sat for like 10 minutes, but I didn't. So that just resulted in more voice cracks and people like, oh, you're so nervous. I was like, I wasn't nervous. I just didn't warm up. So it sounded like I was nervous.
Well,
but
how
it
many
was just
how many
fun.
songs was in your set list?
5.
Well then,
it was
by
5.
the second one, you would have been fine, or even halfway through the first one.
I don't think it'd take me more than like 2 songs. I think by the last, by next to you was the last
I'm trying
one.
to sell you here. Come on.
By the last song, that was probably my most favourite one.
Right.
Next to You was so good, and the ending to it was just the best ever. That was fun. When I introduced my band to everyone, because my band's like they're so good.
And you were talking about being out and getting food and people singing your songs. When you were up performing on stage, was there much audience participation and people singing? Did you get much of that as well?
Yeah, they're all clapping their hands,
Right.
smiling, and the people. It's really lovely when people come up afterwards and they're like, "That's really, you did really great." Because one thing for people, it's like, "Well done," but actually speak to you. I love
Yes.
that when someone comes up to me and they're like, "Well done." It's much better, I feel like, if there's like a one-on-one conversation, which is great if everyone's like clapping for you, but
Yeah,
it's different to get it from
in a
someone.
sense of that, it's almost like proper sort of face-to-face recognition, whereas maybe
Yeah.
being on stage, it's almost a bit like they're a screen.
Yeah, because I'm
You
like
know?
a people person. I'd rather have a interaction with someone like in front of me rather than like, I don't know, 50 meters away or whatever.
Yeah,
But there was this, I remember this little girl who was like 3 years old, came up to me at the end and she was like, I really like your singing. She was so cute. I think her name was Robin, I remember. She was just so sweet, and her mum was like edging her on, and I felt so awkward because I was like, I used to be that kid who was like, can I go tell them that I like them? But that was really sweet. So
yeah, that puts a different spin on it. You're not in their shoes anymore. You're in the other person's shoes.
I know, it's weird. It makes me feel like so much older than I am, like an adult when I'm really not. But it was fun, yeah.
Well, Molly, we've almost come to the end of this fantastic interview.
Sad times.
Very sad time.
Yeah,
I've just got something wrong with my eyebrow. I'm not crying, don't worry.
you not did very well for yourself.
So, yeah, we've almost come to the end of this fantastic interview, and as I said, it's been great. But before we go, or before you go, I should say,
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
No.
I'm staying here. I have that final sucker blow, you could say, of a question for all my guests, and that is, what does the future hold for you now?
Lots of sleep, hopefully. I'm constantly tired. That's what I want everyone knows. Constantly tired. Lots of sleep. I'm gonna hopefully have out 5 singles altogether. So like with Fall Asleep Next to You. I've got Hold On coming out soon. Then after that will hopefully be Intertwined, and then after that Losing You Again. And then once I've got 5 singles out, do an album.
And we'll definitely get one of them played in one of my
There you
future
go.
shows.
I think Hold On is gonna be very it's kind of like, it's got a good electric part in it. I got actually the guy who plays live for me to play on it, and
Okay.
Gav never likes people playing live instruments on tracks. He's like, no, it has to be like samples and stuff.
We wouldn't get on very well.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone says. He's like, how could you work with him when he... Yeah, but I'm like, you have to... I get him so much. I'm like, no, that kick does not sound like a kick. Like, get someone to play it or find another sound. But, so that'll be good. Hold On's got electric in it. Intertwined's got a good chorus, like a poppy chorus.
And you presumably
But
do a
it's...
music video for that. More lip syncing.
Hopefully.
That'll be fun.
More lip syncing.
Yeah.
The verses for that's pretty chilled back. It's just keys and voice for the verse, and then chorus is pretty poppy.
Nice.
And then Losing You Again is just a ballad, good old Adele ballad. So that'll be fun. Then an album. I think albums gonna be pretty good. All the songs on it I do like, whereas some of them I've over listened to. So when I get to a point where I don't like it. But if I know not to keep it or not, as well, like get someone else to listen to it, and if they really, really like it, then I just keep it. But all my songs I have out, I'm actually sick of now, which means I need to get new ones out. But
It does.
Yeah.
It doesn't help you when you come
No.
to gigging, but
No,
it
exactly.
does.
Me and Gav we played Fall Asleep on Tuesday at that EP launch I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, can I just skip the intro? I hate playing the intro. We played it so many times. It's so bad. I'm like, no, because that's the only recognisable part at the start of the song. People are going to know what song it is. So I was like, you have to play it. And he was like, fine. I looked over at his face and he was like, playing it. He was like, I hate it. But it's iconic. Everyone knows the intro to it. So.
Well, I mean, you take bands from the 60s, 70s and what they sound like now live, the songs sound completely different to what they did. Even, I play songs and they could be a couple of months old and I've almost play them completely, not completely different, but you start changing them bits here and there.
It's because sometimes it's not consciously. I think it's because your brain gets so used to the sound, you just want to change it anyway.
Yes, there's probably a subconscious mind that you're getting bored of it.
Yeah.
Without trying to say that you're bored of your music, because
yeah, I'm definitely bored.
You'd be in the wrong business.
Yeah.
But these sort of things have to change. But that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Many thanks for getting you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you've enjoyed yourself.
I have.
That's the main thing. There's been plenty of laughs. There's been plenty of
giggles.
Plenty of good information. Plenty of fun. Yeah, well done.
Great, thank you.
Well, there you go. As ever, a big thank you to Molly Hall for giving that time to come out to the studio and record that incredible interview. All the best with your future, Molly. That was just incredible. I really enjoyed that. I think you enjoyed it as well. It was a really good time. Hope you all enjoyed it as the listeners as well. Some great music as well in the show as well. That's it for this week. Join me next time for my next special guest and some more great music. Until then, see ya.